Hello, everyone. As I go by the name New Legal, you already know you are part of the X League podcast, the League of Extraordinaires. Remember to please like the stream, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends, tell your mothers and fathers, tell your brothers and sisters we here. I want to give a shout out to the Chit Chat community and all the gamers around the world. We're about to get it popping. There's a lot of misconceptions. There's a lot of people who are not thinking. There's a lot of people who just don't know the vision, who don't seem to understand there's visions across all gaming companies, each one trying to get a part of the piece of the pie. Ladies and gentlemen, today I am here to do the evaluation of Phil Spencer, as well as to show you some degree of that piece of the pie. The trifecta holy grail. I don't think most of y'all even know what I'm going with that, right? In order to do these type of things, you're going to have to dig deep and do your research. Closely pay attention to what's going on. There's a lot of things that we know that is old already. There's a lot of things that we know that we've seen over and over and over and over again. No one's lying about the gaming industry. No one's lying about certain types of influencers. No one's lying about certain types of YouTubers. No one's lying about Xbox being public enemy number target. Notice I didn't say enemy, but it's the number one target. The reason why it's the number one target is because Xbox is backed up by one of the most powerful big techs in the world called Microsoft. And as long as they know that Xbox is tied to that, there's really nothing they can do about it. So in hopes of their favorite console, which is PlayStation, a lot of these gaming journalists came up during that era. They're only like in the 1990s born. These are not root gamers. They did not grow up in the era of the high score, most of them. And so they only know this little tit for tat emotional feeling thrill ride that they know, and they bring that over into their profession. It's easy to decipher them. It's not hard. It's easy to know where they lack in intelligence. It's easy to pinpoint them. And it's all about experience. We're in a dark day. That's what I wanted to say. We're in the dark ages of talkers. Gaming is now the real second-class citizen. Talking is first class now. So if we're going to talk, let's talk. If we're really going to talk, then let's be about what's really going on. So I'm going to do my best and to try to bring up what's really going on. And then we're going to do evaluation on Phil Spencer. We're going to do a real evaluation on Phil Spencer. At the same time, I have to commend the Xbox community. Yo, Nev, I'm on right now. I'll hit you back later. Okay. You all right, bro?
I just need to lose, man.
Hey, are we Xbox strong, Nev?
I'm thinking about this. I was about to say.
You about to get one?
Hell yeah, I'm trying to get one.
All right, baby. I'll holler back at you in a little bit.
All right, bet.
All right, bet. Sorry for that live and direct moment, man. You know how we do over here. But it's good to hear from my nephew. I'm gonna do my best as to try to bring us into what I see. All right. So the video game industry today, and no, I'm not gonna put my hard-earned research out here for anyone. Just know that if you believe that I'm just saying this off the top of my head, then damn, it feels good. It feels good to be a false prophet. But nah, I'm not doing this off the top of my head, ladies and gentlemen. I'm actually reading these things. These things are articles that I have put up in my vault, and I can't share it. I can't put these things on my social media feeds. This is not something that I'm making up. So the video game industry today has many competing revenue streams, but ultimately it is the content that fuels revenue. I want everybody to listen to me carefully, all right? You can always rewind. The success of Game Pass, which today, okay, you're gonna know that this is previous research content by the numbers alone. All right. So the success of Game Pass, which today has over 25 million subscribers, as we know, it's over 30 million as of today. It's evident that content which inspires gamers will gain traction among consumers. So this industry knows, right, that Game Pass is undisputed. It's going to work. That's not a doubt in the industry. They see the numbers, they see what's going on, they know it's going to work. That seems to be Microsoft's Xbox pitch, right? It is building an ecosystem that is the trifecta, all right? So you got to understand the trifecta. You got to understand this whole triple threat. In basketball, there's a position that you do once you catch the ball as you're holding your pivot called the triple threat. Means you can pull up for a jumper, you can turn around, you can fake jab, or you can take off with your right or left position, right? With your back, with your hands. Or you can pass the ball. So it's called a triple threat because you can do more than three things, or at the fewest three things, instead of being just stuck in one position. Now, notice what I just said right there, right? You're not stuck in one position. It's the key to success. Remember Sarah Ball talking about the keys? Okay, here's the keys. Here's one of them, and it's called content. So what does Game Pass provide? Content. All right? There's going to be some things that I'm going to say I disagree with Phil Spencer on, even though this guy knows more than me. As a customer, right? And as a consumer, right? I've seen things being a fan of Xbox. There are things that didn't rub me right in that interview. One of them is the fact that Phil said, no matter how many great games we make, we will never be number one, right? I don't disagree with that. What I disagree with is this inner notion that I got from myself. Now, I'm not putting that on anybody. I'm gonna say myself because I know for a fact that I'm not the only one that felt this way. We see it all around because people have taken what I'm pretty much felt and just threw all his words out of context, right? We know what he's talking about when he said that. So we're gonna break it down. I'm gonna break it down even further. My feelings, right? The way I see it. Microsoft has a record that's already documented where they made great games. And when they made great games, people bought Xboxes. How do we know this? 100. How do we know this, Jerry Brooks? How do we know this, The Realist? How do we know this, Other Zinc? How do we know this, Smitty Smith and Rain G4 and Jelly Bo Bob? How do we know all of these things? Because we've been around the streets a couple of times. And we've been a part of one of the greatest Xbox consoles of all time, the 360. So we know that Microsoft never has to be number one to make an impact. That's the myth. What made the 360 great was its lineup of games, its lineup of content. So it only had two things. It only was great at two things. And just those two things gave gamers an experience of a lifetime. People switched over and started buying Xboxes because Xbox is third place in the console space. It came in 2000 while there was already one going out the door. all three of them are Japanese based: Sega, Nintendo, and Sony. So what does that tell us? That before Xbox, everything was Japanese. So I just want to ask a question before I proceed, right? Does anyone really think that the Japanese empire, or shall I say, the Japanese dynasty, right, will just allow anybody to come in and walk through their front door and just compete with them on a grand scale giant like Microsoft when they were fresh off of taking over the world, not just an industry, but the world with Windows 95. Windows 95 came out a whole year before the PlayStation 1 came out to the United States. PlayStation was already in Japan in 95, but it wasn't globally recognized until 1996. Windows took the world by storm. Now, Microsoft wanted to get into the console space because they didn't want to miss out on anything. We also know that content is very important when we talk about video games. This is why we have DLCs. All right. This is why we have great stories, because it's called content. It's what gets you involved in the gaming, co-op, all this other stuff. The Japanese were the only ones that ruled with an iron scepter. They had the infinite gauntlet. Okay. So, knowing that Xbox came through the window, now you know my terminology. I never say the door or the back doors. I always said when I came into this YouTube space, I came through the window. Now I hope you understand what I'm talking about. Xbox didn't come through the front door. They tried. They couldn't get nobody to help them. I don't know why they thought anybody would, to be honest. Then they had their feud amongst each other over Xbox, and Xbox prevailed from the Windows team. So now Xbox has to get its recognition by friendships, by the only thing that you get ahead in life. It's not who you are, it's who you know. So even something like Xbox being a powerhouse for Microsoft couldn't even just get into the gaming space and be accepted. It had to be accepted by who they knew. And who they knew was Sega. That's who they knew. Sega giving them 13 exclusives. 13 exclusives right out the gate, right? To help boost the Xbox. But we also know that it was Halo that single-handedly sold that console. That's the first hint as to Microsoft. All you have to do is make great games and people will come. Halo single-handedly sold the Xbox. If Halo never dropped, we probably wouldn't even have Xbox today. That's hard to say about any other console ever made, especially when all the other consoles came in low points of other consoles. The Xbox came during the height of the PlayStation 2, during the height of it. And if Sony couldn't destroy it then, at its height, because no other Sony console has even came close to selling 155 consoles, and we'll dig into that too, then all this doom and gloom about if Xbox only hits one game as a failure, that is doom and gloom, is over, Judgment Day for them, or if Starfield doesn't hit, then it might be over for Xbox. The only reason you see people talking like that, right, it's because they're really not for Xbox, and second, it brings clicks to their platform. Because what have I been saying for years and years? They built empires off of talking about Xbox. Why? Because that's the thing to do. If on social media, it's to talk bad about Xbox. If you talk good about Xbox, they're going to label you. You become a fanboy. You're toxic. You're not a real gamer because you play only on Xbox. So we get all of these myths, right? We get it. So content is the first key. Community is the second key, people. Community. Now, if you're calling yourself an Xbox fan, What I'm saying to you is not a mystery. But if you're one of these so-called Xbox fans out here, you're going to learn something today. You're going to learn something today. So we're going to open up the Book of X for you because Smitty Smith is here. We're going to open up that Book of X for you. And after this show, you can take my information and then you can go run around and act like you knew this from the beginning. We get it. Community. Xbox has always been solid with community. As a matter of fact, in my opinion, I think community should be number one over content. This trifecta should be called community, content, and then I'll tell you the next one. But community, to me, is the cornerstone of Xbox. Because without community, we would have never made it. We were not just the underdogs, but we were the underdogs of the underworld when it came to gaming. We didn't have nowhere to go. We still don't. All we ever had was each other to support. We had those landlines. We're just playing, all in our college dorms. Then we got Xbox Live, where we can all connect from our consoles. And we took care of each other. Shout out to Vodka. What's good, Hyperfan Gaming? We took care of each other. We are the blood input of Xbox. We're the heart and the lungs. Facts. It didn't come from PC. Xbox didn't thrive off of no PC. Console space, fans of Xbox are the heart and the lungs. Without them, you don't have no community. So my thing to Xbox leadership, they're watching, they paying attention. Take care of your console community first, because we're the ones that are going to do the groundwork for you. Nobody else cares that much about Xbox. Appreciate you, Silver. Nobody else is going to care that much about Xbox. Nobody. Nobody. So you got to take care of your console space first. That's your community. Not who you're trying to expand to. That's not your community. They'll learn Xbox from us. That's what happened to Gears of War. Y'all wanted to go and reach out to the casuals, and you saw what they got them when they stepped up on Gears of War. To the veterans, they got their face curve stomped in. So they started whining and crying. And y'all had to change up stuff. And what happened? You neglected your community. And so Gears 4 suffered, and then it had to come back to your community. So don't do that anymore. You want your community to grow, you leave that up to us. We got this. You just put out the great games, and we'll promote those great games. Rain G4, my man, says, think about it. Xbox is the only competition Sony has in gaming space. If media praise Xbox, it will sway gamers to get Xbox. Rain, this is common sense. And what you just said, Rain, that's the key ingredient. Because why did the 360 sell so well? The media was backing it up. But the media really didn't want to back it up, Rain G4. It just didn't have a choice. Why? Because Xbox was just that great. Everybody I knew that had a PlayStation wanted to play Gears of War, man. In 2006, it was undeniable. One thing Microsoft has to understand is this about gamers. We suffer from FOMO. We suffer from extreme FOMO. No gamer wants to feel like they're not playing the hottest thing. I don't care what it is. It's got to be super hot. God of War has never been super hot. Spider-Man's never been super hot. The Last of Us never been super hot. Ratchet and Clank never been super hot. Uncharted never been super hot. These are facts. This is why you won't get nobody from Xbox to just jump ship to play those games. Nah, we good. We good. But see, even Forza Horizon 5 made people jump ship. There's no way a game can hit 8 million. When they went on live and they looked at the player count, right? When they checked up the leaderboards, 8 million people were already on that game. 8 million. And they were playing all over the place. They were playing on the device, they were playing on the Xbox, they were playing on their PCs, they were all over the place. Big community, right? You make a great game, they will come. Last but not least, before we get into it, man, before I really go into the rub, it's cloud. It's cloud. That's facts, Rain G4. Facts. Listen, nobody has time to be lying, right? These are just facts. I came here to talk to my Xbox community because I feel like they don't get talked to like this. You got to do your research to talk like this. You got to spend some hours by yourself. You got to love this. You got to become a student of the game. Cloud. Why cloud, right? Because cloud reaches the whole entire world. Why cloud? Because mobile gamers make up more than the PC and console space combined. Why cloud? Because with cloud, you can reach 2 billion gamers if that's your vision. And we know that's Xbox, Microsoft's vision. So as an Xbox fan, do not let the gaming media sway you from thinking that that vision has changed. It hasn't. And where you see Microsoft, right, struggle, or should I say, fail in one spot in the console space, doesn't mean they're not succeeding everywhere else. As you keep learning from the CMA, right, what is the one thing they got blocked for, people? What was the conclusion of the block? One of Microsoft's trifecta. It wasn't content. It wasn't community. It was cloud. And they blocked it, and cloud ain't even a threat right now. Why you think they blocked it if cloud wasn't a threat right now? Because cloud is going to be a threat in the future. And in the future, because this is all about Sony. This is all about competing. Microsoft versus Sony. It ain't about nothing else. So if they know in the future Sony can't compete with Microsoft, what do you think all these articles are going to do when Microsoft trips up, when Microsoft has a bad day? They're going to make it seem like it's doom and gloom and it's over for Xbox. But here's the thing as an Xbox fan, right? How many times throughout our lives, right, throughout our 20-year life of being on an Xbox platform, have we heard that Xbox is done? How long? So at this point, you just laughing at all of this because it's instant replay. I agree. Radiance, what do you mean you disagree? I agree with that. I didn't say it's happening tomorrow. It is years away for cloud. I agree with you. Not no top. When I say soon, I'm talking about in the future. I'm not talking about right now. I agree. You're right. Just in case you might have heard me wrong. But they know that that's the real threat. They know that. Because I'm going to show you something. Other companies have taken note of this approach. So what does that tell you? Right? That means who is the influencer? Remember, I used to say this word. It's who influences. It's not who's number one in the market. It's who influences. And I remember my man, the realest one. He taught me out of thinking about Phil Spencer and his chess game, and he was right. In 2022, all our games got delayed. He called it. So I have a 50-50 chance with the realist. He told me not too long ago. Phil had to do what he had to do. It's a move. It's a strategic move. You can't put your fault on these developers. Makes sense. You can't have Bethesda out here, saying, well, we could have helped them. We could have helped Arcane when we're trying to get Starfield. That would have just sparked another forest fire. He's still saying it. That's right. I'm gonna get to you. But I got Range G4 first. I got you. Yo, Radiance, I got you, fam. Y'all got to start paying attention. I know y'all don't like straight shooters, but y'all know I'm a straight shooter. I'm just going to tell y'all what it is, whether you like it or not. This ain't a nursery. This ain't a nursery community. This ain't a daycare. Range G4, much love, bro. The CMA stopped the ABK deal over the potential, there it is, of cloud gaming because Microsoft has a small percentage in it and can't get mad Microsoft investing in the future. And it's not a small percentage, my man. They know. It's not. It's not a large percentage, but it's definitely not a small one, my friend. It's not. And I'm going to conclude it with this one, Rain. Watch this. There's a reason why they know. They're just waiting, okay? Like I've been saying, they're waiting. And what's waiting? Waiting isn't checkers. Waiting is chess. And what is chess? You have to put yourself in positions to strike. And then you wait for your opponents to make a move, okay? So what you're seeing right now was a mistake. Shouldn't have been happening. This stuff that Phil was saying we need to learn, no, this should have been already learned. We've already been here before. 2013, we already been here before. So this is 10 years of learning. My only thing is this. When are you, Microsoft, are going to start listening to your fans? Because that's all you got to do. I know it sounds stupid. I know it does. I know it sounds like fanboy stuff. But if you really get a chance to come down here where we at, you'll realize we're real sensible. We're real understandable. And we like to know. We love that knowledge. We like to be educated. But Microsoft, you keep us away from console numbers. You don't communicate. Y'all had it on that other show. It was told you about communication. Start communicating with your fan base. We want to know things. It's good to know whether we're healthy or whether we're not. Who cares? We're not going anywhere because we love the Xbox. So the notion that if you can see that, if you can make this statement, right? No matter how many great games we make, I'm not persuading PlayStation fans to buy an Xbox, well, then just reverse it. No matter what you say to us, whether it's good or bad news, we're not leaving. We're not leaving because we know there's an experience on Xbox that we simply can't find nowhere else. That's it. And this ain't even hard to understand. I have the ability, right, to go out here and buy all the consoles. So the question is, why don't I have all the consoles? It's a reason. I can tell you. One, I don't want them all. Two, it's too many damn games to play. Three, I don't have the time. So what has Microsoft done for me? They're giving me all these games in Game Pass at my leisure. So I can just go to them when I feel like it, and I'm not breaking my pocket. Gaming shouldn't be the place where I'm stressing. Because we see that happening to the PlayStation community. Where the PlayStation community likes to come on social media and front, we're not fronting. Not once have we had our president come out and say, our gamers don't buy new games. See, there's one thing that they can't do, y'all. They don't pull up digital numbers. That's why. They can't say it. So when they report something, they only got physical sales. But they don't understand that majority of the Xbox gamers buy digitally. You heard what Phil said? We messed up during the digital era when most people bought digital games. Xbox is still buying digital games because of Game Pass. It's not hard to understand. So let me keep moving. Other companies have taken note of this approach and will want to beef it up on all three. Notice what I said. They're going to beef it up on all three. So yes, you Xbox gamer, you the one who told the donkeys all your games are going on PC one day. All your games will be day one PC one day. Pat yourself on the back. Where if you was the donkey denying these allegations, I ain't going to say slap yourself, but just look at yourself right now. You're on the wrong side of the future, bro. And that's why I told you, when it does, because it will happen, your feelings are going to get hurt. And it's going to begin with the CMA overruling this block. See, y'all had a good barbecue, but we're going to have a family reunion. When this CMA gets blocked, just don't look at us in the Xbox community and say, we told you so. Xbox is the influencer. When they meant what they said, when they said, we're going to pull our business out, you don't want to be left behind in tech, because Microsoft right now is #1 in tech, and they're leading by over $150 billion. The next company in line is not even nowhere close to Microsoft right now. You remember what I used to say? Microsoft ain't worrying about Sony when they're throwing computers in the ocean. You remember when I used to say that, y'all? I know Realist does. Let me sip on this water real quick. Gotta preach. You know, when them preachers are preaching real good, they ask for a cup of water, you know. They ask for a napkin so they can wipe their forehead. You know how it is, Rain. You know what it is. I've already had 2 collection plates passed from Rain already. So you they throwing computers in the ocean. I never broke that down, but I am today. Those computers that they were throwing down in the ocean, y'all, was for servers, underwater servers to connect people all across the world. These things y'all know these things that they were throwing in the deeps, in the oceans, 100 and Realist, they were to connect, to get the internets connected. The when you can't connect fiber optics, nobody's gonna run a cable line through no ocean, people. Boy, you stupid boy. I ain't get my TDJs on that. Nah, don't do me like that, Smitty. Yo, nobody's running fiber optic cables through the ocean, Smitty Smith. They got to do it in another way, right? They're even looking at, hey, they're even looking at satellites, right? So that they can pinpoint the smaller countries that may not have these things, right? Six Layer, welcome, brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Realist, get ready. Yes, sir. It's like the preaching of the coming of Christ. The world's going to be at its abundance. The world's going to forget. They're going to forget that time ain't on their side. When that sky split is game over. Those that were prepared to go, is going to go to a better place. Those that thought that they had life and thought that time was on their side, when they realize time stops, they ain't going to go to a better place. Same as this one. You running around acting like this day ain't going to come. Oh, this day is coming. You just got to get prepared for it. So all you great Xbox fans out here that stay connected to Xbox, which I told you is the influencer. Microsoft is the influencer. When Jesus Christ went around preaching the gospel, was it many of him? No, it was just one. But he had the influence of the people. Even an empire of Rome couldn't even stop him. When you have the influence, you have the power. You don't have to be #1 in the market. You see what Microsoft is doing to the #1 brand in the market in the courtroom. They got the one on his knees crying, please. So now that you know that they want to beef it up on all three to have the best chance, right, of capturing and engaging the biggest audience. What do you mean, Legal, the biggest audience? Console space ain't the biggest audience? No. Dipwit. The console space is the smallest market. Dipwit. So it's time, Xbox gamers. We got to smarten up. Look at how much energy these donkeys put into the smallest market. Now can you laugh? Because they don't know. You got to forgive them for they know not what they do. You got them out here making podcasts. You got them out here linking up to make different shows on YouTube. And I told y'all, all I'm waiting on is for everything to happen so I can go all the way back in time, back to the future, and show y'all my post, my prediction that's going to come true. But then I'm done. You know, ain't nothing else to prove with me. I never lied to y'all, right? I do the best. I don't claim to know it all. Some people say, when I say I don't know what I'm talking about, that's fine. I get it. We all don't know what we're talking about. We're just trying to understand, right? Because why, 100? We have no communication. We have no communication line. Nobody's coming down here talking to us. So we got to assume to the best of our abilities. I come here to tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me gaming. I'm just coming as a veteran gamer who started gaming in '83. I'm doing the best I can being an Xbox gamer. Some of us stand tall as Xbox gamers. We're nothing else. A lot of y'all can't do this. It's not stressful. You just gotta like Xbox. It ain't stressful being an Xbox fan. You just stay on social media too much. If you stay on social media too much, then you'll realize that ain't where the Xbox fans are at. They're on Xbox. You go on Xbox, you start talking this Twitter stuff to the common Xbox guy, he don't know what the hell you talking about. He ain't engaged with all this silly stuff. He's not. He's engaged with playing. That's what he's engaged on. So now that you know, right, that the biggest audience is to be captured. They can't do it with damn consoles. The most you're going to get out of consoles is, like I said a long time ago, people, is 300 million. You can slice it however you want to slice it. At the best, if everything was dead even and perfect, that's 100 million a piece. That's all you're going to get. We know we don't live in a perfect world where everybody shares the glory, right? So it's getting the piece of the pie. When you look at business, you got to look at it as a pie. And what you're going to get your slice and what everybody else is going to get their slice. Whoever has the biggest slice has the bigger slice. It's just like my terminology about the banks. Now you seeing that big bank takes little bank. Smitty Smith. It's funny because Sony is trying to catch up to Microsoft now, but Microsoft is already planning 10 to 20 years in the future, the Book of X. Exactly. What did I just read? Other companies, so you can add Sony into that, have taken note, you can add Sony into that, of this approach and will want to beef up on all three to have the best chance of capturing and engaging the biggest audience. You can put Sony into that. It is not a coincidence, watch this, that Sony is now reportedly rebranding this PlayStation Plus. Why? Why are they rebranding? If Sony was that great, why aren't they influencing? Because they got Little Bank. That's why. Little Bank don't have the influence. You talk about politics. The politician ain't the one that has the influence. It's the lobbyists. It's the ones that's paying for the campaign. That's who has the influence. What up, Spartan? It is not a coincidence that Sony is now reportedly rebranding its PlayStation Plus subscription to meet this new reality. What did I just say, Smitty Smith? What did I just say, everybody? This is a new. What's new? That means something that has emerged that has not ever been done before. And it's called a new reality. What's console wars, everybody? That's an old reality. Does it exist? Yes. It's not effective anymore. It's not effective anymore. It's just like the good book said. The old law has been done away with. So why are you telling me about what King David did? When we got the Lord and Savior today. What King David did, what Moses did, what Jacob did, what Noah did, Abraham did. And since they were following Christ to begin with, they just were doing it in the shadow form. Now, the console wars were being done in the shadow form, leading us up to technology. Because if you think I'm lying, I got some videos I'm going to show in the near future. And this stuff was being talked about in the early 80s when video games took the world by storm. And they were saying then on CBS, on ABC News, because some of y'all don't even know that that was the big time news, not the MSNBCs and the CNNs and the Fox News. Nah, bro. We had local news night every night. You had about 6, 7 channels. And you watched Wheel of Fortune. And you watched Family Feud and Jeopardy. And you went to bed. You saw the national anthem came on. You saluted your flag like the good old patriot that you are. Good old loving American, right? And then your screen went to fizzling. Like poltergeist. And you know what that meant? That meant it was time to take your ass to bed. That's what it meant. And during that good old time of Technicolor, right? Because some of y'all still didn't have no color TVs. They were talking about he who has the technology is always going to be king when it comes to gaming. I got my proof. Don't worry about it. I'm going to show it in the future. It's coming to direct gaming to a theater near you. Don't worry. I'm putting that motion picture up. Y'all going to be listening to it. Here's the reason why cloud gaming is small, Radiance, right? Because gamers still prefer to own a dedicated machine in games. Now, I want to go even deeper than that. Do you not think that the PlayStation fans know this? This is why the PlayStation fans, see, the ones who are scared of change the most are the ones stuck in the Old Testament. We're not scared of change because when we became Xbox fans, we immediately became part of this future vision with Xbox Live and everything else. We were the ones that were paying for services from the jump. Dr. Vodka, you was paying for Live from the jump. You never complained. Your stuff ran smooth. And when you did wanted to check it out, you went over there on PSN, you saw how laggy that dog was. You said to yourself, damn, man, you know, it might be free and all, but this ain't the experience I want. I don't mind paying $40 for Live, and you paid for it. And you enjoyed, hey, if it wasn't for Live, right, the PlayStation fans wouldn't be so happy-go-lucky on Call of Duty because it was the Xbox brand that birthed Call of Duty. It was the Xbox brand that helped birth PUBG and the preview program. Don't forget about that beautiful thing called the preview program that we were all involved with. Look how Microsoft did not leave us out. See, they took us on the journey with them. If you was playing PUBG, pat yourself on the back because you helped PUBG to get to where it's at today. Look at Fortnite. Fortnite came out of the preview program. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Because what you see today on that PvP was not Fortnite originally. Fortnite was a zombie apocalypse game and you had to save the world. Then all of a sudden, this PvP thing came out of nowhere. Epic took a chance with it. They got laughed at. Nobody's going to play this cartoon game, this free-to-play thing, and this ain't going to work. And look at today. Epic got almost all the damn sponsors in their games, man. Anything that pops off goes to Fortnite. And Fortnite can't be stopped. Then there's this little block game called Minecraft. Look at it. Look at Minecraft today. Look at what them Sony fans do for us for Minecraft. Talk about third-party power. Talk about influence. This is why they put so much pressure on Xbox. This is why the industry don't want to change. Because in their box of comfort is all they got. They know that they can't step out of that box of comfort and compete. See, that box of comfort is their safety net. They can't compete outside of it. I did too. Vodka, I did too. I played it. I enjoyed that. It was fun because you got people to jump in the game with you. And then y'all both had to figure it out and had to figure out how to beat that zombies, how to beat them zombie bosses. It was fun. I ain't gonna lie. They know more than we know that they can't compete. If like I said before, tell me anybody, anything that Sony's done, give me 5 things, 5, that if we left this industry up to Sony, right, the #1 gaming brand, to push gaming forward, my question is this: what have they done and what have they created that has lasted to where we're using it today efficiently, right? And it is a major impact player for the gaming future. Let's go down the list. That's for the chit chat community. Let's go down the list. PlayStation had PlayStation Home. Where is PlayStation Home today? They had PlayStation View. Where's PlayStation View today? They had PSP. Where's PSP today? Because Game Boy and GameCube had already been out. So that means if you bought the PlayStation P, you was the competitor. You know what I'm saying? The Game Boy transformed into the game. The Game Boy transformed into the DS. So if you bought the PSP, you was on the competing side of things. So what happened when PlayStation wanted to compete? What happened to it? Nothing. Facts. Absolute facts. Then it got worse, right? No. We're gonna compete even harder. And they created the PlayStation Vita. The 3DS evolved. So Game Boy transformed 3 times. Went from Game Boy, right? DS, DX, Deluxe Plus. All these modifications just evolving. What happened to the Vita? That's facts, Rain. What happened to the Vita? It's gone. It's done. So when you, the Sony fans, were the competitor, right? Sony couldn't compete. They flunked. Microsoft is putting tens of billions into the cloud way before Xbox Series X got here. They introduced to the world cloud gaming with the Xbox One. What did Xbox do that we as Xbox fans to this day still can't understand? I remember reading those articles, man, about Xbox One coming out and how shook Sony was. Now, if Sony was this big badass company, why would it have been shook? Because the 360 was so influential. They didn't even, if you look at how the PlayStation 4 was prepared, compared to the Xbox One, all Microsoft had to do was listen to its fan base. When we told them, do not package, we don't want the Connect, do not pack, look, just unbundle it. They didn't listen. Wanted to keep that $4.99 up there. Just couldn't help themselves. You kept the $49 up there. You talked about DRM, right? Now, I don't blame Microsoft for that because that was a truthful statement. Notice, that's New Testament talk. Sony deceived their fan base by trying to keep them in the VHS mode. Now remember, these are all my terminologies. Don't use mine, get your own. Sony keeps their fan base in VHS mode. That's what killed VHS. Go through your history. VHS died because it wanted the technology to stay at VHS. It didn't want to what? It didn't want to change. The music industry isn't blowing up on cassette tapes. It's blowing up off of media. Rappers today don't have to sell what, realists? Millions of records. All they got to do, realists, is get them streaming numbers. Make a video, put it on YouTube, put it on social media links, anywhere they can. And when people listen to those music, what is it called, people? Engagement. These companies make money off these streams now. So you can be the wackest rapper in the world. You ain't got to be lyrical anymore. Do you see where I'm going with this? You ain't even got to have no substance anymore. All you got to do is look cute, say some dumb things, make no sense whatsoever, wear some skinny jeans, and there you go. You off to see the wizard. Millions will watch your video. There you go, track star. And then you off to prostitution at its best. Being that mighty trap star. I'll give you another example. Is the vision Mark Zuckerberg has for Meta. There are 300 million Meta, formerly Facebook gamers that stem from Meta's social roots. They're likely to opt for streaming games rather than downloading apps. What? What did you just say? They're legal? They're likely to opt for streaming games rather than downloading apps to interact with the platforms. Owning an expensive console, about to hurt some feelings now. And please don't you dare say that to the PC people. The tinkerer, I call them the tinkering community. They like to tinker with stuff. Owning it, they're likely to opt for streaming games rather than downloading apps to interact with the other platforms. Owning an expensive console or high-end PC may not appeal to these types of casual gamers who would rather opt for convenience than ownership. Don't get mad at the messenger. But back to the present, other cloud gaming streaming services like Google Stadia, may it rest in peace, and Shadow are experiencing mixed success. Listen, this was before Stadia died. Listen, no, these people aren't prophets. It's just common sense. You looking at it, you paying attention to it. We were out here. You didn't see a massive surge for Stadia consoles. And Shadow are experiencing mixed success, often hamstrung by existing technology. So you want to know what Luna was struggling on? Existing technology, constraints, or business models that fall short of consumer expectations. Look at that right there. Now, let's get to NVIDIA. Because NVIDIA is a bad boy, but watch this. NVIDIA's GeForce Now may be the best position to fulfill the hardware part of the trifecta maxim. If not content and community, NVIDIA's graphic processing units dominate gaming hardware across the globe, most notably in PCs. Right? NVIDIA PC streaming service and recently on the MI MacBooks. They're limited. They're limited. Okay, there's one problem. With a library of around 2,000 titles, it's powered by tens of data centers, Although GeForce Now Premium RTX at the time 3080 cloud streaming service can't quite match a local hardware setup. What? I didn't say that, people. The streaming service can't quite match a local hardware setup. The relatively cheap subscription seems to be making great strides and closing the gap in terms of video compression, streaming, and lag. In comparison tests, it outperforms, don't y'all get mad at me, Xbox fans, Xbox Cloud Gaming and Google Stadia on virtually every metric, and is technological marvel, according to who? Digital Foundry. You guessed it, people. You guessed it. In the last several years, though, these technological powerhouses are all investing in faster and better cloud-based gaming solutions. What? You mean to tell me they're not investing in consoles? They're not investing in PC? They're investing in better cloud-based gaming solutions. But the issue going forward will be less on the technical. Damn, there's that word again, technical. Technical and technology go hand in hand. Aspect, and more on a business proposal. So going forward will be less on the technical aspect, but more on the business proposal. Why? Because to the gamer, if it don't make sense, it doesn't make dollars. This was a lesson Microsoft understood very well. Really? This was a lesson Microsoft learned very well with this subscription service, Game Pass. So who did they crown? Who did they crown? Who has more gamers on which service? But who did they crown? PlayStation Plus has more gamers on it. But who did they crown? Those who fall in gaming news, right? In the last 20 years. Man, look at this. Those who follow gaming news in the last 20 years have seen similar predictions. Look at this shit. You see what I'm saying? You're not stupid, the gamer. You don't need gaming outlets to think for you. The common sense gamer. You know why? Because you've been out here for 20 years. You've heard things. You've seen similar predictions that new technologies will disrupt sales and become the future of game revenue. There was the great anticipation that the release of the Kinect peripheral gaming, 3D gaming, social gaming, toys to life, and VR will be the catalyst that changes everything. We've heard it all. But what is the reality? So let me, before I conclude to that answer, right, goes back to PlayStation, because Xbox catching a lot of heat out here, right? It's catching a lot of unnecessary heat, but the heat is scary heat. It's not really real heat. It's called scary heat because you got to understand why they so scared. PlayStation went into the VR sector, right? Microsoft said you can have that, right? We ain't wasting our money over that, right? Because we see the market, right? It's whatever. You can have that vision all day long. So if this is about competition, right? Microsoft is not competing in VR. So I asked the PlayStation fan base again the same question. Why is it not succeeding? You want to know why it's not succeeding? Because it goes back to business proposal. The PlayStation VR 2 don't make sense to the consumer. I'm going to say that again. The PlayStation VR 2 doesn't make sense to the consumer. I can hear realists tell me to say it one more time. The PlayStation VR 2 doesn't make sense to the consumer. That's why it died. It not making sense in the reports made the pre-order sales look like a desolate desert with a few lizards and a few sidewinders out there and one camel in an oasis. Because when it don't make sense, it doesn't make dollars. Hint as to why they crowned Game Pass already. And it didn't even have to hit 30 million to do so. Because it makes sense. You give gamers a whole bunch of games. Now, when you listen to the donkey narratives, they tell you, well, it depends on what kind of games. And we ain't rocking with PlayStation Plus. You kidding us? You can't even measure up your narrative to your own services. Those games over there ain't major hit games. But if you go really, the myth, when you really absorb the myth of Game Pass, right? The myth of Game Pass says otherwise. The myth of Game Pass says we do bring the hit games to Game Pass. Look at all these green rated Metacritic scores. And I will be getting to Metacritic today as well. They gonna catch smoke too. With their all of a sudden, we're gonna we thinking about rethinking on how we evaluate games when they get review bombed because it was a PlayStation game getting tore up. But hey, man, listen. Anytime we want to do better in the industry, we clap our hands, right? Okay, we got. But we've all been here, right? PlayStation VR 2 had no Xbox competition. It had no Nintendo competition. As a matter of fact, it only had what was out there, Oculus. So are we going to say that Oculus destroyed it? Is that what we going to say? I mean, we got to say something, right? It ain't Microsoft's fault. It ain't Nintendo's fault because Sony left Nintendo behind a long time ago. As a matter of fact, I shouldn't even say that. The industry did. They call Nintendo the cartoon console. We're over here trying to do some mature stuff. And y'all talking about Animal Kingdom. Okay. And VR will be the catalyst that changes everything. The answer is they all didn't. What these technologies failed to address is that although they offer something new, right? Nobody ever knocks down anybody doing anything new. Wait a minute, hold on. Isn't there a game called Redfall? But anyway, even though they offered something new, right? They were never going to replace the tried and tested success of traditional console and PC gaming. That was the problem. That was the problem. The fact that sales for the Switch, PlayStation 5, and the Xbox Series consoles have been some of the best hardware results for Nintendo, PlayStation, and Microsoft, respectfully, is a signal that gamers still prefer to own a console that resides under their living room TV. Okay, now, if Xbox is dead, if Xbox is garbage, there's a good reason why Xbox is in third place, people, when it comes to consoles. It's because, like I told you, Microsoft is in a trifecta mode. It's not just in one area. It's in all three areas. And if Microsoft can sell 70 million consoles, if it can sell 50 million in services, and it can get hundreds of millions of people, right, to a billions of people on their service, you're going to see who's really number one. Because Microsoft could care less if you think they number three or not. They number one in the bank. They number one with technology. And if you think console sales is going to stop Microsoft, I think you need to change your scenery. Because whoever your friends are, and whoever are close to you that tell you stuff like that, they don't have it out for your best interest. I think it's time for you to change your scenery and stop letting these YouTubers and these influencers lie to y'all. Stop playing this game as a touchy-feely situation. It's not. It's just gaming, and it's just gaming news, truthfully. The fact, right, that the sales for the Switch, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series consoles have been some of the best hardware results for the companies. Even gaming on the go threatens the viable future of cloud-based gaming. Damn, gaming on the go. So cloud gaming is at the bottom. It threatens the viable future of cloud-based gaming as an alternative to owning hardware. Pre-orders for the Steam Deck exceeded Valve's expectations. We see what the Steam Deck is today. You know why? Because if it don't make sense, it doesn't make dollars. Steam Deck, I saw you long time ago. I'm the one that came up with this theory. The companies, when it comes to these handhelds, are either going to be the puppy in the kennel, the dog that runs the territory line, or the wolf that can go anywhere it wants to go. So for those who don't understand that terminology, let me break it down to you. The dog in the kennel is a platform that can only do the games on that platform. Okay. The dog that can run the territory line is the platform that goes to PC as well. It's console, right? The one that can act like a wolf can go anywhere it wants to go. Which one would you want to be in life? In a kennel, on a property line, or wherever you seem to go, wherever you want to go. If it don't make sense, it doesn't make dollars. So when you talking to me as a full-time gamer, not a part-time gamer, why the hell would I pay for a handheld $600-something that's more expensive than my damn console, does less resolution, less frame rates, and I'm stuck in my yard? Don't make sense to me, so therefore I don't have one. I'll wait when they make a wolf handheld for a gamer like me, where I can take it wherever the hell I want to go. Makes sense to me. So we're going to see if I'm right. The console that I can go anywhere, let's see what it does to the Steam Deck in the future. Only time will tell if I'm telling the truth. But even the pre-orders of the Steam Deck exceeded Valve's expectations, and Nintendo Consumer Research found that the Switch gamers prefer to play, games undocked anyway. This ultimately is cloud-based gaming's biggest barrier in revenue growth. So now you know where the cloud has to compete with. Gamers today still prefer to own a dedicated game machine. Following from that logic, gamers still prefer to own physical or downloaded games. When that changes, cloud gaming could have a strong future. Now they're saying it in a nice way, like my man Realist would say. Y'all don't believe in this type of talk, but damn, y'all must not believe in yourselves then, because we were telling people then that PlayStation's gonna put their game on PC. Why? Because Microsoft is doing it. Why did we say that? Because anybody with an ounce of intelligence knows that it ain't Sony that's influencing Microsoft. Anybody with an ounce of intelligence knows that. The adage that consumer is king still holds true. Told y'all. That's why you saw Phil Spencer do the interview. Why? Because consumers are kings. That's why I told you. If you don't think your voice is important, then use your wallet. You want to make a change? Stop buying something. See what happens. It will be the gamers who will dictate the success of cloud-based gaming. So, if it's the gamers that dictate cloud-based gaming, it'll be the gamers that dictate Redfall. I'm here to build up my community. It's not Metacritic. It's not IGN. It's not people who lied on the game or hyped up the temperature. We can't blame nobody. Because we're controlling the end result for Arcane Austin. Those are our guys and girls. Or should I say in Texas, gals. We got to get out here and support it. Why? Because it's an Xbox exclusive. How are you, the Xbox fan, going to let an outside territory dictate your games? That's a weak-ass community to me, man. And that's sad. Because no matter how Zelda looks like Breath of the Wild, you ain't going to talk them out of playing that new one. Breath of the Wild, you ain't going to let them, you ain't going to persuade no Nintendo fan to not play Take the Air Away from it. That game could be called Take the Air Away. And that game's going to sell 10 million. Zelda, The Adventures of Link, Take the Air Away. You ain't going to talk them out of it. Even if it looks just like Breath of the Wild, they're going to call it the best Zelda game ever made. You get over here in the Xbox land, right, where everybody's scared. That's why Nintendo fans don't have double agents. The PlayStation community don't have double agents. You don't have Xbox guys pretending to be donkeys. That don't even make sense. Who would want to downgrade themselves like that? That's having low self-esteem. I want to go over there and turn into a donkey. We seen some. You see what happened to him. I'm gonna go over there and act like a donkey. You didn't upgrade yourself. I'm gonna get involved. You see how they look? Neutrals, y'all look silly out here. Because you're a neutral, but you still want to be heard. So you can't even live up to being a neutral. I'm a neutral, I play. But you always got something to say. A neutral that has something to say is a liar to himself. If you're a neutral, why are you on Twitter? Why are you on Twitter addressing your concerns? You're a neutral. Everything's okay with you. Or did you forget what the definition meant? Facts, Vodka. Years ago, bro. And that's right. And they not using it now. Right. The president came out and told us that. That's right. So I know y'all are like, man, I know legal can't go no deeper than this. Man, y'all wrong. I just got started. Look, man, I don't know where you at as a gamer, but nobody on the outside planes of Xbox community should ever dictate our success of our games. Why are you listening to people who don't even play games, who don't even buy games to dictate your game success? Yeah, they got a job to do. But I tell you what, let the gaming industry start talking up Xbox and see what happens to their channels. See what happens to their clicks. Nobody's stupid, bro. But I told you that day is coming. The flip-flop on the industry is coming, bro. They just want you to think that I'm a liar or anybody else that says that is a liar. Notice how they keep the weight on Xbox. Damn, they so scared, bro. They so scared of Xbox shining that they'll talk in a game that ain't been out yet months in advance. Oh, it better succeed. If it don't succeed, that's it for Xbox. But Spider-Man 2 ain't even been seen yet. And they're holding Insomniac like they make the greatest games in the world. Okay. So they make the greatest games in the world, right? So what is Insomniac really known for? Let's be real. Their greatest franchise is Ratchet and Clank. Let's keep it real, right? Since we talking gaming and like we just love to talk. So if we just love to talk, let's keep it real. Ratchet and Clank at its best, that sits on a #1 gaming brand console and sits as an exclusive, right? You want me as a gamer. Now, let's just exclude me off the Xbox platform. But let's just talk about being a gamer, right? You want me as a gamer to think that Ratchet and Clank is the bar that sets above all bars when it comes to a success story of video games. That's the myth. Now let's get to some truth. On the PlayStation brand, Ratchet and Clank at its best, at its height, 3.7 million. You want to know which one that was? You want to know? I'm about to tell you. Ratchet and Clank 2016. On what platform? The PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4 is what? The second most selling console for Sony. And not even 3.8 million Ratchet and Clanks have been sold. Not even 3.8. And you want to look at me in a straight face, right? And tell me that is because Insomniac's making the game. I'm going to get there, Rain. That's how we know. Because Insomniac's making the game, I have nothing to worry about. Okay. Here comes Sunset Overdrive. And that's exactly right. Why did Sunset Overdrive get so much hate? Simply because it was Insomniac. And how dare Insomniac go over to Xbox and make an exclusive? That's why I got so much hate. Sunset Overdrive didn't sell too shabby either when you look at the numbers in its day. Somebody give me the numbers for Sunset Overdrive right now, please. Give me the numbers for it. You know where you can find Sunset Overdrive today? On Game Pass, but give me the numbers for it. Let's do it. I'm going to wait. As I keep talking, I'm going to wait. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, right? Sold 1.1 million. So what does that tell you? Is the PlayStation community really out here playing their games? All right. Doesn't look like they're playing their games, huh? Y'all ready to go deeper? We can. We can. Y'all want to, don't you? I know. All right. So let's go deeper. All right. I told y'all. 1 point. There it is. There it is. 1.2. 1.2. 1.16. That was during a time when Microsoft had about what? 7 million consoles? And I would say, yeah, about 10, 11, 12 million consoles at the most. I'll put it right there. And they didn't even get 2 million. That's how much hate they had for it. That's it. That's how much hate they had for Sunset Overdrive, people. The Xbox community allowed the industry to talk them right out of a great game. Now, when you play it, you don't even understand why they hated it so much. Same with Rise, Son of Rome. You let the outsiders see, Rain, this was an NVIDIA move. I call Titanfall the NVIDIA of the Xbox One. That's the first 10 million seller right there. They don't want to talk about it. But I'm telling y'all the truth. That was the game that I saluted my community, because no matter what they try to do, we are the ones who made that a $10 million sale, baby. The first. It was less than a year, and we was already crowned with the first 10 million one. The first 10 million banger, bro, right out the gate. They wanted to stop talking about it once it got over 8 million. They didn't want to even give it to us. Damn Titanfall had to give it to us. They had to put the report out there. But that's all right. That's how they do us. Titanfall was the NVIDIA. No matter how much they hated on it, the brute force of it all just succeeded. We succeeded with Titanfall, straight brute force. Now, they out here talking about Sony's PlayStation selling 6.3 million PlayStation 5 consoles, right? When we know that when we do the math, right, it's all shipped. But you know they like to keep their fan base dumb. So in January, it sold 1.3. February, it sold 1.7. That's 3 million right there. And in March, which is the last fiscal year for PlayStation or Sony as a company, PlayStation 5 sold 2 million. So that means they sold 5 million consoles. That's not a record. We got that. I got that documented. They shipped over 6 million. I think probably like 6.3. So that's a record. They call it, oh, that's the record. Okay, cool. But they still behind the PlayStation 4. So no, they didn't reach anything. They're still behind. And they might catch the PlayStation 4 at some point in time. But as of right now, you got to get some more in stock, because you only put out 6.3 million consoles into the world. You shipped that many. So that's what you shipped. You sold 5. So that means there's 1.3 million out there that needs to be bought. That's what that means. You can never have more than what you ship. If they actually did sell 6.3 million consoles, that means they probably shipped 8. They didn't do that. So that's where the common sense comes in at. Gotta have common sense, people. But when you're playing off feelings and stuff, you know that's not true, but you're gonna go with it anyway, because your whole intention is just to make another space feel down about where they play their games at. So I get it. So when you look at this stuff, right, Sony is under pressure to sell 70 million consoles by March 2024. Because if they don't do that, then this magical world, this not just the magical world, but this magical word called perception, which is the golden elixir for Sony, means that the majority now isn't too fast to buy a PlayStation. And they don't want that. They want the world to still see that, hey, they still love our brand. So now it's a number game. It's a lot of stress on Sony. And so while there's a lot of stress on Sony, the president comes out with bad news. They're not buying new games. Let's go with this. From that moment on, Sony dramatically increased shipments around the world, and users who had not been able to buy a console for a long time were finally able to do so. In total, Sony sold 19.1 million PlayStation 5 consoles by the end of the fiscal year, and 13.4 million of them were sold in the last 6 reporting months. Total PlayStation 5 sales as of March 31st, 2023 reached 38.4 million. PlayStation 4, according to the results of the first 10 quarters since the launch, was at the remarkable 40 million mark. The gap has almost narrowed. What did I tell you? That's what's important to Sony right now. Why is Sony so amazing at sticking to the console sales? Because that's all they got. Remember what I told you, that Sony is bragging about the lowest place possible when concerning gaming. The lowest. I'm still not making no excuses as to why Microsoft don't want to let us know console sales of Xbox. I'm not saying that. I don't care. I prefer it, but we're not getting it. But the lowest space of consoles. Facts. In the coming fiscal year, y'all want to hear pressure, right? See, they put pressure on Xbox to make great games. That's going to get you in trouble in a minute. But here's the real pressure. In the coming fiscal year means from this time all the way to March 2024, the last day is March 31st. Sony plans to sell another 25 million PlayStation 5 units. So if they're not buying new games, what makes you think they buying new consoles? Let's not act like they don't buy PlayStation consoles just to watch movies either. We know that. So it's very possible. But in the coming fiscal year, Sony plans to sell another 25 million PlayStation 5 units. That is by March 31st, 2024. I know y'all got to wonder where I'm getting this stuff from. Don't worry, I'm just pulling it out of my hat, man. The total sales of the current generation console should break the 63 million mark. Why is that important? Because if we don't do that, it shows that people are not interested in the PlayStation 5, which takes away the perception. Got to keep the perception up. That's a lot of pressure. Other data from the report, the number of PlayStation Plus subscribers at the end of the fiscal year was 47.4 million. It has not changed compared to last year. So what did that tell you? That I told them 2 years ago that PlayStation Plus had hit its plateau. That's it. Done. As a service, PlayStation Plus is done. It's done. It can either remain around 47 million or it drops. These are facts. They're not making no more increasing money off of it. It's just there. It has not changed compared to last year. It's just there. As we know, it has dropped, and then it goes right back. The average monthly number on PlayStation Network users has reached 108 million people. And an increase of 2 million. That's it, compared to last year. Now, let's compare Game Pass and Xbox Live. Xbox Live grew 120. It grew to 120 million as of last year. That's 20 million compared to 2 million. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, people. I want to say, which one's greater? This is a kindergarten question. Which one is greater, kids? 2 million or 20 million? The average monthly user, right, or monthly number for the PlayStation Network user has reached 108 million, an increase of 2 million compared to last year. Sales of games for the PlayStation 4, because remember, Sony has to keep that PlayStation 4 alive because that's where the majority of their gamers reside at. And the PlayStation 5, so that means, legal, you combine both of them. For the last quarter, amounted to 68 million units. Together, 68 million. This is what you would think if I combine both of my platforms. This is a gimme. Well, listen to this. This is 2.5 million lower than the year earlier. 70% of copies are sold in digital format. Somebody out here lying. All you news articles out here keep bringing up the UK, keep talking about these strong physical sales. Do us all a favor. Stop lying. Stop lying out here. Because when we really look and go deep and dig into this shit, now one of these damn exclusives on PlayStation 5 are in the top 10, top 20. They can't get 2 in the top 20. Hell, can't get 4 in the top 30. But y'all always want to keep talking about these physical sales. But 70% of the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5 are digital. Sony games accounted for 9.5 million copies. 5 million less in the first quarter of last year. Why is all this less? What happened? Is the president lying? Well, not according to these numbers. They rather talk about gaming than play and buy the games. So it seems the new legal could just be assuming. You know how you like it when they just pull up some stuff on Twitter and they want to throw it at you. That ain't true. Look at here, Okay, I'm assuming. I'm wrong. Maybe they lying too, right? Let's continue. In 2023, the PlayStation 5 will receive such high-profile exclusives. You ready? Here comes the high-profile exclusives. Spider-Man 2 and Final Fantasy 16. Now, one of them is going to sell. One of them is going to sell, baby. One of them is going to sell. And one of them is not. Chit Chat community, I got a question for you. Let's make this interesting. This is a hard one. Which one you think is going to sell? Which one you think is not? Type away. I'll be right back. I got to plug my phone in. Y'all want to talk to us about Starfield, right? Selling. Okay, that's cool. That's cute. We get it. Y'all look like some cute donkeys out here. All right, got my phone plugged in. Y'all cute donkeys running around here. They got y'all all dressed up with warmers and, and blinders and all that running around here. But which one of you think's going to sell? And which one y'all think ain't going to sell? Because both of them ain't going to sell. Both of them ain't going to sell. But Xbox is on pressure? Okay. Guess what's going to happen when Diablo 4 come out? Not only is the PlayStation community going to buy it, but the Xbox community is going to buy it. So Diablo's going to sell. Notice how the gaming industry don't even want to bring up Diablo 4. Y'all done forgot all about Diablo 4. It's going to sell. Guess which one is going to sell too? Guess which one's going to do great out here for some motorsport? Notice they don't want to tell you about that game. I'll tell you another one that's going to sell. If it comes out, it's going to sell. Stalker 2 is going to sell. It's going to do great out here. It's going to do great. But nah, I don't want to talk about that, We want to talk about Starfield. And why do they want to talk about Starfield? Because Starfield hurts their feelings. Because if Starfield don't sell, if Microsoft can't get Starfield right, then we're leaving Xbox and we're going over to PlayStation. But wait a minute. I thought y'all were gamers. I thought the industry labeled themselves as gamers. And if you labeled yourself as gamers, don't y'all already got PlayStations? Because y'all do a lot of articles on it. How could you not have it if you talk about it all the time? So in reality, you ain't going nowhere. You're just really where you already at. You just use Xbox for propaganda. Now that you understand why they think Xbox has to always have pressure on its games, then let's go to the truth. Somebody's either telling the truth or somebody's lying about Xbox games. All right? Phil Spencer, our leader, who we all know has been doing a terrific job. And he may not be the guy that you like for console wars. But that doesn't mean that Phil Spencer isn't one hell of a good leader for the Xbox brand. Console wars take a different type of individual. It takes a lot of energy. I never looked at Phil Spencer as a console guy. I just didn't. I remember when he did interviews and he talked about his upbringings, him and his dad. My dad being one that influenced me like his dad influenced him in gaming. But my dad was a console gamer. His dad was a PC guy. Phil Spencer is a PC guy. So I never looked at him like a console gamer, nor did I expect him to behave as one. Phil Spencer doesn't behave like the common traditional console gamer. I'm just telling the truth. So to me, a spade is a spade. I say Phil Spencer is acting real. He's being who he is. So that means that you, the Xbox fan, want Phil Spencer to be something he's not. Now, the definition of being real can't contradict itself. Either you want Phil Spencer to be fake or you want Phil Spencer to be real. You got to pick and choose. But if Phil Spencer's going to be real to himself, he's going to be real to himself despite what you think about him. So we're going to do an evaluation on Phil Spencer, and then we're going to see if he's done a great job or a poor job. We all know why they hated on Rise, Son of Rome. Because it was one of the best looking games ever created, and it was on Xbox. The SciGraph Awards nominated as one of the best looking games ever made. Sony has yet to make a game that has been nominated for the SciGraph Award. But this is the #1 gaming brand in the world that still hasn't been able to do that yet. Rise, Son of Rome on Metacritic scored a 60. Redfall scored a 59. Y'all really want me to take Metacritic seriously, right? Y'all want me to stress over Metacritic. This game got a 60. I played Rise, Son of Rome. 60 means it's on the cusp of being a bad game. It's right there. I mean, it's 10 points away. It's right there. Now, I played this game. It's not a 60. I played worser games. It's not a 60. I remember what they said about it. It's button mashing. But God of War wasn't a button masher. Look, watch this. It was such a horrible game that God of War 2018 patterned itself over it. Why the hell would you pattern yourself over a bad game? Wish I had some water to drink on that one. Why the hell would anybody pattern their game if the game is a bad game? Y'all tell me that one. Okay. Shut the whole damn industry up with that one. So let's move on. Dead Rising 3. 78. I guess I got to put the colors out for those that don't understand Metacritic, I guess. So 60 is a yellow. 78 is a green. Dead Rising 3, right? Green. I'll just do it like that. Timefall. Green, 86. Sunset Overdrive. Green, 81. Quantum Break. Green, 77. Halo 5 Guardians. Green 84. Gears of War 4. Green 84. Forza Motorsport 7. Green 86. Forza Horizon 4. Green 92. Watch this. This is funny now. This ain't no coincidence, okay? This is just funny. Forza Horizon 5, 92 green. Forza Horizon 4, 92 green. Forza Horizon 5, 92 green. Okay. You get where I'm going with that one? Microsoft Flight Simulator, 90 green. Psychonauts 2, 87 green. Gears Tactics, 82 green. Deathloop, 89 green. Ghostwire Tokyo, 82 green. Hi-Fi Rush, 87 green. High on Life. Poor little High on Life. They hated on you so bad. That user score, though, just makes me laugh. 7.9 green. But that Metacritic score, 67 yellow. Sea of Thieves on Xbox One. It's all doing Phil's Empire. Phil's been still here. 69 Metacritic. Sea of Thieves Xbox Series X, to be determined. The user score on the Xbox One was a yellow 5.3. The user score today, 7.6. You see what I'm saying, Xbox community? Now, they only have one review. You can go look this up. You want me to take Metacritic seriously? There's only one review for Sea of Thieves for the Xbox Series X, and they gave it a 90. So there ain't no TBD. It's a 90 then, damn it. State of Decay 2, Xbox One, 66 yellow. Pentiment, 86 green. Immortality, 88. Vampire Slayers, 95 green. My bad. Immortality, 88 green. Sorry. I had to put the green in there. You know how people get emotional. As Dusk Falls, 77 green. Grounded, 82 green. And for my man, he wants to go with the gunk, right? He wants to show you the gunk. We can do that. The gunk Metacritic, 70 yellow. Okay. I think that's fair. So we want to say that because of Redfall, that Phil Spencer needs to be fired. When you talk about firing somebody, right? You're talking about they can no longer provide. I mean, we know Phil has a tremendous account. So firing him is not it's not scaring him. But in the real sense, right? When we talk about firing somebody who possibly might have children, wife, or whatever, you're taking food off their table. At least down here in the most common grounds of things. And people don't just typically get fired, right? It's an evaluation process that goes by. Sometimes it's a strike one, strike two, strike three offense. Most of the time, nobody just gets fired for errors or some judgment issues that go on. There's room for correction, right? So if we're going to talk down Phil Spencer, keep the same energy. Why haven't y'all been talking him up for all the great things that he's delivered? You know why? Because the industry isn't in tune with doing that with you. That doesn't make the clicks. Saying how great of a job Phil Spencer has been doing for Xbox doesn't get the clicks. You want me to tell y'all another truth? PlayStation fans triple the size of Xbox fans on social media. I'm going to do this one more damn time. You go on YouTube and you type in Xbox. Xbox is going to have, let's see. I don't know why they ain't showing it. We want Xbox. 5.11 million subscribers. You want to know what's funny? That's telling you that the majority of the Xbox community ain't on YouTube. Now, this one's going to surprise you because you would think that Nintendo America, what y'all think when I said Nintendo America on YouTube? I know immediately you thought, shit, at least 20, 30 million people on there, right? Let me show you where the Nintendo fans are at. And on YouTube, 9 million. Nintendo sells more consoles than PlayStation. Nintendo ain't a community based off of emotions. They're not. That's why I'm a Nintendo fan. That's why I have a Nintendo consoles in my house. I don't like the kiddie games no more. I don't like the fact that, after 10 years, a game still costs $55. But I have my reasons why if Nintendo don't get it together on the next console, I'm not buying it. I have my reasons. But 9 million. That's it. 3.89 million more than Xbox are on YouTube. So guess where the Nintendo fans are at on their console? Neither Xbox and Nintendo combined. Watch this. PlayStation. Let's be funny about this. If you added the Xbox community and the PlayStation community, PlayStation still beats them with 14.7 million subscribers. So who do you think the media is going to pom-pom for? You think they're going to pom-pom for Xbox when their community ain't even on these social webs like that? You think they're going to pom-pom for Nintendo? If you have any common sense, you're going to pom-pom for PlayStation because you can see clearly they stay wherever somebody has an opinion about their console. They're there. So as an Xbox community, you on Twitter and you arguing with a group of clowns who don't buy games, who don't play games, you understand that this is their gaming avenue. But in a little bit, show and prove is coming. And you know what they're going to do? They're willing to sit and wait a whole year for one game. We're not. And this is why they attacked Redfall so bad. Because once Forspoken died, it was killing them that Xbox had games. It was killing them that y'all make a list and show them where's your pipeline at for 2023. There's not a gamer alive that I won't laugh in their face if they bring up Spider-Man to me. You mean to tell me you bought that console and you waiting on Spider-Man? No wonder you bought all them other consoles. I ain't got to buy no PlayStation. Xbox keeps me gaming. They just dropped another game in Game Pass called Ravenlock. It's like an Alice in Wonderland game. It's fun. I'm playing it. I don't care what you think. I don't care if you think it's not a AAA game. Forspoken wasn't. This other game you got for 720p ain't either. So what's up? Spider-Man? Peter Parker again? Where's your new IPs at? Final Fantasy 17. How many Final Fantasies are you going to get? How many fantasies are you going to obtain? How many Ratchet and Clanks you going to run around talking about? Huh? How many times they going to remaster The Last of Us for you? Huh? How many times? How many times, bro? I'm just saying. The only reason Gran Turismo won anything last year is because Forza wasn't out. You think Gran Turismo, you think Forza Motorsport's going to look like Gran Turismo 7? Come on, man. Don't even make us laugh. That's the only reason it won. It was about time they won something. Y'all gonna go out to them theaters and make Gran Turismo that movie, the #1 movie in the world? Y'all gonna go watch that racer game? Based on that guy that played the game, he want to become a racer? Y'all gonna get that Spider-Man comic book? Y'all gonna read that comic book, learn about Peter Parker and Miles Morales? That what y'all gonna do? But y'all always got Xbox in your mouth. Let me tell you something. Xbox is doing more than just console. And I'm here to tell y'all right now, the new legal understands one thing. That I didn't need Phil Spencer to come out and tell me that Xbox can't compete in the console space. It's not that it can't compete. I wouldn't say that. He didn't say that. I'm just going to say Xbox will be #3 in the console space. When he said that, I understand that clearly. Because Xbox ain't never been #1 in the console space. They never had to be. That's the thing that people need to understand when you're an Xbox fan. Xbox doesn't have to be #1 in the console space. Just like LG don't need to be #1 in the TV place. When they took over OLED, they took over OLED, didn't they? That was it.
Is not recognized.
I know OLED. See, I had to shut it down. I had to turn it off. See, we were once like that with our Xbox. We had voice commands. I missed that stuff. You want to know what made me love Xbox? Because I was doing things nobody else was doing. I was telling my damn Xbox to shut up. Go get me some pizza. I was telling it to record that and stuff. While your console just stood there. I had a community be called Upload Studios. All our community all around the world could show our clips to one another. We could all interact with one another. We could show our most best moments and then have a ranking system on who you thought had the best moments and they win something that week. It's awesome. Y'all don't know nothing about that. I love seeing when I got achievements that my screen would go into a chat mode box and I could see the progression of my gameplay. We had all of that. I also I could be watching football, catch up on the same scores of what was going on, and still be playing my game. We had that. We had something that was never done in gaming history. Credit at the Xbox. But because the Xbox community let the outside community talk its brand down, I have to salute the 60 million that stayed strong to Xbox. Even through all of that, Xbox One was still able to sell 60 million consoles. So what does that tell you about PlayStation? PlayStation ain't doing nothing to Xbox. It can't get rid of it. But I'm going to tell you something. Xbox can get rid of PlayStation. The only thing about it is they're not in the profession to manhandle it and do it. They could do it easily. Why do you think PlayStation blocks games off of Xbox? Because y'all don't want to compete. See this tough guy approach with PlayStation? It's not a tough guy approach. It's a 3-year-old kid in a boxing ring with Mike Tyson. He's punching Mike Tyson. And you think it's supposed to hurt him. That's how this fight is. PlayStation is showing their whole community that they don't want to compete. So they rather block games. And then you're okay with that. They've been blocking games for years. Nope, not one media article, not one source has been putting pressure, right? Pressure on Sony to stop doing those type of things. That's not cool, man. Come on. If y'all the #1 market leader in the world, what you afraid of? Just compete, man. And let the dice hit and wherever they may, and we compete. Nah. Y'all don't know what Xbox can do, right? We don't know how great it can be anymore because there's games that are being blocked off of it. Y'all don't want devs to utilize the Xbox. We get it. So Microsoft, is up to you. This is why you can't put out games that barely look better. You can't do that when you got the technology. You think people going to stand by when Hellblade 2 hit? When Gears of War 6 hit? If Gears of War 6 looks anything like that Unreal Engine demo, they buying an Xbox, Phil Spencer. Because there's one thing that we know. PlayStation ain't gonna ever have a game looking like that. If Hellblade is looking the way Hellblade 2 is looking like it look, if that's its true identity, they gonna buy an Xbox, Phil Spencer. Because Sony don't have nothing for them. After Spider-Man, there's nothing left for PlayStation 5. There's not a game bigger than Spider-Man. Do you see what they're doing right now, everybody? They're giving them a PlayStation 5 remaster to play. Of what? Spider-Man. That's supposed to be promotional. That's supposed to be marketing. Well, I want to tell y'all one other thing. There's a Spider-Man movie coming out this summer. So you got a comic book, a remaster, Spider-Man the movie, Spider-Man the game that has nothing to do with the movie. That's what you got. Then when all that's said and done, what do you got coming for PlayStation after that? What do you got? That's bigger than Spider-Man. Because Spider-Man is your biggest brand. Game for PlayStation. Kratos ain't bigger than him no more. Ellie sure the hell ain't. Aloy sure the hell ain't. Ratchet and Clank sure the hell ain't. Nathan Drake, I don't know why I mentioned him. So it's Peter Parker, like I've been saying, General. Look how I predicted that in 2018, General. It's your boy. I predicted that in flying colors. When nobody else had a word to say, I predicted Miles Morales. Because when you do your studies, you can see Sony's footprints so vividly. The PlayStation 5 experience is going to be an experience of remasters. Just like I said. And look, they haven't let me down. Spider-Man and remasters is what you got. And y'all got the nerve, the audacity to come out here and speak on Xbox. When all we getting is new IPs. New IPs. Redfall. It's crazy. Starfield. Hellblade 2 as a sequel. Indiana Jones. Avowed. Elder Scrolls. No, that's not. I'm just being funny. Elden Wild. Y'all got the nerve to come out here and mention Xbox. It's crazy how much front y'all do for PlayStation when it's PlayStation the one that's being scared to come out and play. When it tried to come out and play, it got its face punched in, and it never wanted to come back outside and get bullied again. So it blocks games. It hides in bushes. It promotes myths. It acquires wildebeest mindsets. It robs its own fan base blindly. I know you gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. So I just wanted to come out here today and talk to y'all for a bit. Understand the business. It's content, community, and it's cloud. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. That's the vision. That's not even the dream, man. That's the vision. And honestly, that's where things are going. And Microsoft is the head influencer on it. Even the CMA is scared of Microsoft. You don't really want to see. So Microsoft already told you that Sony ain't their competition any damn way. It's too easy. Microsoft ain't competing with Sony. I'm gonna be honest with you. It doesn't do Microsoft any integrity to talk about console wars with PlayStation. I know that's it. Don't. That they're stooping down when they do that. Hold the damn line. You want Microsoft to come down and insult their own integrity by talking console wars with PlayStation. The smallest space in gaming grounds is consoles. And you want Microsoft, a $2 trillion company, to waste its time down there. In your heart, if you truly believe that, then you're truly not an Xbox fan. You cannot be, because that means you ignore the vision. You don't believe in what's about to happen. Yeah, just because it ain't moving as fast as you want it to move, don't mean it's not moving. I just told you, it's the reason why the other communities in their gaming companies started to move in that same direction. I hope y'all got another sense of some kind of direction, man. I love my Xbox community. I got a lot of friends in here, man. A lot of good people I know. A lot of great gamers. Don't let them destroy your games. I played Redfall. I looked at it. I played it. You got people like Shane G out here. 13, 14 hours on the game. Now, you think somebody's going to put that many hours on a messed up game? Who does that? I'm on the game right now, right? And if I'm playing it and I get an achievement, right? It's almost at a point where you're not going to get no more diamond achievements. So what's that telling us as a community? People are playing the game. It's already at high 9-point percentages. I'm not lying. So if this game was dead, it wouldn't have percentages like this. It's not a bad game. It just needs some improvements. It's an online-only game. They let it. They abandoned these people, man. They left them alone. We got to do better as a gaming community, as a business proposal. See, once the gaming media was able to talk down Redfall, the weaksters in our community looked at it and said it don't make sense. What do you mean it don't make sense? It's on Game Pass. See what I'm saying? The fact that it was on Game Pass destroyed the whole notion of the it don't make dollars, it don't make sense theory. You can just get in there and see for yourself. Then we come to find out, right, that the game don't truly start till after you get past Hollow Man. Who's the dummy now? This been the new legal, man. Represent Di-RRec Gaming. Remember, always keep it gaming. Chase the one up in life. If you like what we're about, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, smash the like button, leave some comments below. Shout out to the Chit Chat community, man. I got my green bandana on. I got my jersey on. What about y'all? I'm not into the business of letting outsiders dictate my game, my exclusive. I'm not into that. I'm into upholding what's been given to me. If I'm going to complain, then I go get another console. It's that easy. There's no crying in gaming. Some of y'all need to check yourselves, man, before you wreck yourself. I'm out. Peace.